Yo, what's going on, people? This is the season 2 finale of Horror Never Dies. Um, welcome. This has been a great, fantastic season. But before I get started, I want to bring on my guests. What up, Rashad?
Yo,
What up, Terrence? How y'all
Hello.
doing?
yo, it's good, y'all.
Shit, man. Chilling. What up, Tony in the building as always. Yeah, man, this has been a crazy season. This is a season finale. We talked from everything from, the worst of horror, sequels. We talked about what could be the next big decade, the sounds of horror, um, black culture and horror, you know what I'm saying? We talked about, the big three of horror. We also talked about Terrifier 3, just a ton of stuff. And if you've seen the beginning of the stream, you already know I pretty much put a little teaser. I'll play it a couple more times for people that missed it. But yeah, season 3 is definitely happening for sure. It's gonna have to wait a while, but it is what it is. I gotta think of some other things to kind of talk about and whatnot, but this was fun. Well, what's up with y'all? How you been, Terrence?
I've been all right. Yep, how you been?
Chilling, man. What you been watching lately? Yeah, I know Venom just came out. Did everybody see Venom?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got invited to an early screening to see that.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good
Hey,
movie.
it's for the kids, man. Like, my son enjoyed it, so
Yeah,
I think it's
he'll
more for
he'll
the
grow
kids.
to hate it he'll grow to hate it when he's older. So he'll look back at it. It'll be like one of those
Guilty
I saw the
pleasures.
TV glow kind of moments. Be like, damn, I remember liking this when I was younger, but now that's happened to me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go back and rewatch a lot of movies that are beloved and
Yeah,
stuff like that, I just
yeah.
can't look at them differently.
That
So
that's 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 interesting because at my screening, the human was like, "Yeah, this one is for the fans," and I'm like, "What fans? I know that the individuals that worked on this don't read comics, so they didn't make it for me." So I knew that was bullshit when he was saying that, and then lo and behold, during the movie, I just wanted to slit my own wrist.
Yeah.
hilarious. Rashad, what you been watching lately?
Yeah, well, like Terrence, I went to the early screener for Venom, and it was, Liz, I mean, hey, what do you expect from a Venom movie, man? Like that, from the first movie, set the tone what this shit was going to be. So I expected it to be dumb fun, which is what it was. But I did hear people that were fans of the character Nolo. I guess he's like an Avengers level threat, and like they
Yeah.
treated him like the Fallen from Transformers. You know what I'm saying? Like he was barely in the movie, so people were
What?
pissed off about that. But like I said, my son enjoyed it. It wasn't the worst thing in the world to me. I probably won't watch it again, but for what it was with the crowd that was there, we had a good time with it. You know,
True, true,
I'm
Yeah,
true.
not
that
I'm not
that's
I'm not,
that's
I'm not gonna hate on it.
yeah, that's interesting because dumb. I agree with you, but fun it was not. I was just like, not only was it a bad movie, because I'm like, sometimes stuff can be inaccurate and it could be good, but I'm like, it was just a shitty ass movie overall. And then the introduction of Noel. I know that most humans don't know who he is because they don't read comic books, but I'm like, that is some of the most disrespectful shit I have ever seen in my
That's what I
life.
heard. I heard that. I heard that.
Now I
Yeah,
see some people like kind of defending it, be like, yeah, you just don't read the comic books. I was like, it don't matter. Like you could break it down. The comic book doesn't mean that it's gonna be a good translate as a good movie, which it wasn't. So you know,
right.
Exactly. And that was my sentiment. I was like, okay, so accuracy is out the window because that first Venom movie was also ridiculously silly and ridiculous. So I was
Mhm.
like, that's fine, but give me a good movie. So I
right.
even divorced all of my knowledge of Noel and all the symbiotes and all these things. But the movie as it stands is just a poorly made ass movie.
Yeah, and well, I was expecting too for a finale. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a Spider-Man cameo, or maybe see Carnage again, or something. Like, I was expecting like something like go out with a bang at least, and it just
That
like nah.
that whole storyline with the family, I was like, bro, that's a terrible father. Like, why would the hell would you bring your family to Area 51? Like, knowing
Right. He was
they
a
kill
bad
people on
father
sight.
in general. Like, I could, I was like,
I
what
was
is
I was
this?
waiting for them to be like some secret, like like some shapeshifters or some aliens that are trying to
Mhm.
get to, or would have been crazy if that dude was Null in a human's body or some shit like that. He like already broke
Right.
out or some shit like that, or he was working for Null or something like that. Like,
I,
something just better, but I don't want to kind of harp on this
Yeah,
movie any
yeah, but
longer. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
yeah,
that
nah. So
definitely
definitely
not,
showed it.
because
But yeah, I saw that, and I did watch. I just saw Tony mention Papa's House with Damon Wayans. I did watch that. That was a pretty good opener for a sitcom. It's good to see Damon Wayans back. And Perp, I did watch the Haunted Mask, the Goosebumps episode that you told me about.
How'd you
I
feel
did
about
watch that. If I was a shorty around that time, I would have enjoyed it. It was it
Yeah,
was
it definitely traumatized some kids like back in the day, cause just the mask itself, I feel like it's just like really fucking intimidating,
yeah. The
and
mask was creepy. Yeah, the mask was
yeah,
creepy. Yeah, the mask was creepy for sure.
mhm. But it
Yeah,
just definitely embraces that cheese. Like that's a lot of like the Goosebumps, like it embraces that cheese. But a lot of them have like these darker themes and stuff like that. Some of them are
right.
kind of goofy, but some of them are like pretty dark and stuff. Like I just like the concept of the haunted mask and stuff. I always want to like do
Yeah, I
something
mean,
with
well, yeah,
that.
I tried. Well, I tried to watch it through the eyes of a kid. So watching it through
Hmm.
the eyes of a kid, I'm like, okay, I can see how this would have creeped some kids out because, like you said, that mask was intimidating as shit. So I was like, okay, this wasn't
And
bad.
and even the creepy store owner, bro. Like, cause that motherfucker, he probably got some charges on him. He probably at them Diddy parties and shit. Cause the way he was talking to Carly Beth and shit, I was like, bro, you should not be talking to a little girl like that, bro. Like,
Facts,
and just
and
the way he
bro,
was breaking down the story, the backstory of the mask and stuff. I was like, yeah, I like
right?
that stuff. Like, it's creepy as hell.
wait, are
Nah,
we
nah,
talking
yeah,
about
it was
are we talking about the original or the new stuff?
The original,
right.
not that
Oh,
Disney
oh,
bullshit.
oh, yeah, okay. I'm just making sure, because yeah, that new stuff, that ain't it. But that original, I remember when I saw it as a kid, and I was like, I want that mask. I mean, I don't want it to get stuck on my face, but I definitely wanted that mask.
Yeah, like that whole scene where she couldn't get it off that first time and shit like that. Like that was pretty crazy. That's like kind of claustrophobic, or just being in
Right.
like you not being able to take the mask off. And fun fact though, the actress that played Carly Beth, she actually ate real worms and shit like that. Like so,
Hey,
I heard about that, and like
yeah.
that's
I
nasty.
really like the Carly Beth character, because like she was getting bullied and shit, and I know what that's like. So like I immediately identify with that. And when she went to that shop to get that mask, I was like,
Hmm.
so that's what
They
I
just
gotta
stole
do. I
that
gotta
shit.
get a scary ass mask, and these kids will leave me alone. That's what I was thinking.
Hmm.
Shit, that's how I felt about Mr. Crockett. I said, man, I said, where the fuck was Mr. Crockett at when my mom had that boyfriend in the house that I hated?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Crockett is dope. But yeah, I always loved the Haunted Mask. That's like my favorite Goosebumps story.
Yeah,
I just feel like that like you could definitely do something dark if you would if you were to make like a remake or something like that. You could definitely do something dark. Um, and especially with, like special effects now and certain things, and you could just definitely update the mask. But the mask, like I said, it still holds up, and it looked really clean for the time. Like as like she kind of goes darker down and further down this darker path, and like my version, like I would want to see like what if like Carly Beth wasn't able to take off the mask at all, like, and it just consumed her type shit, like
kind
having
of
a
like,
darker ending.
Clown. I thought about Clown when I was watching that because remember in Clown
Mm,
where he put the clown stuff on, he couldn't take it off. That shit like
yeah.
transformed him. And
Hmm.
next
That
thing you
kind
know,
well,
he's eating kids and spitting the bones out and shit.
I mean, like that. So because that kind of happened in the original episode, like all you would need to do is just expand upon it. Because like they
Hmm.
had that moment where she was freaking out with her friend, and she's like, I can't take it off. And then she went back to the store owner, and he was like, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but yeah, you're not gonna really be able to remove that shit unless.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
There
Yeah.
goes the lesson: you
Mhm.
shouldn't steal neither. You know what I'm saying? But my version of Carly Beth, I don't know how y'all would feel, like how you would feel about this, Terrence. Is if like instead of making her a scaredy cat, right, to kind of have it in modern day, because there's always this like thing of like, oh, what makes horror movies scary? Like what could scare people? Make this version of Carly Beth a huge fan of like, she's a super fangirl of horror movies and stuff like that. But she has like this traumatic thing that she kind of holds inside that she doesn't really kind of let out until like later on. Like I don't want to like go too much into detail what I have planned or what I'm thinking of like how I would do a remake, but that's one thing I would kind of like I feel like would change just to kind of because I just think that's so interesting. Like, we've seen characters like that are big like horror fans, and then like they'll have something horrific happen to them, and then what I'm saying that kind of figures
I'm not
certain things
I'm
out.
not I'm not against that because
Mhm.
like I've been telling humans for years, like, like how you said, like this time you wouldn't have her be a scaredy cat because, I was one of the individuals where when I was bullied, I was never afraid of any human for any reason. So like you can do an angle where the victim is not afraid. It's just that the victim is powerless. But what would happen if the victim, has a mask that gives them powers or that allows them to have some sort of advantage over the individuals that are terrorizing them?
Mhm. And instead of like how her mom makes a sculpture of her face or her head, like I'd have it be like she's an artist and stuff like that. She's into art and whatnot. She makes like her mom is deceased. This version of her, Carly Brothers' mom is deceased, and that's why she kind of goes down this darker path and stuff like that. And kind of like this version kind of embraces the mask, and instead of like having a sculpture of her head, she'd make a sculpture of her mother's head or some shit like that. It'd be really disturbing, but like I've just thought about like really interesting things that like they could kind of switch up and make a kind of a darker, like almost like a I don't say Tim Burton, but like just kind of like a darker version of that story.
Yeah,
But
well, I saw there was an alternate ending to that episode. You know about that? Where it was a darker
um,
ending, but the producers
Yeah.
thought it was too scary for kids, so they had them change
yeah,
it.
yeah, I heard about the alternate ending. I don't remember all top of my head what it was going to
Mm.
be, but
Babe, it was a small change. So when the little brother put the mask on, some creepy music kicked in, and then the what's the girl's name? The
Carly Beth.
Carly Beth. Yeah, she started like screaming like frantically, and for whatever reason, the producer thought that was going to be too much for little kids to
uh,
handle. So he just took out where she was screaming, and they just
Yeah,
shortened it. They just shortened that scene a little bit. Yeah.
I can't stand when they do that shit, Rashad. Like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger fans, we had to suffer when they thought that for Lord Zed, and they kind of watered him down because the parents thought he was way too evil. But I'm like, that's what made him fucking cool in that show.
Right.
mhm.
Yeah, well, that,
But see,
that was a time where parents had a lot of power back then, man. Because like with the Ninja Turtles, the first movie they said was too violent. Then remember the second movie, they couldn't use their weapons.
yeah,
I remember that because at the
Yeah.
beginning of the movie, when what was it, Shredder, he had told his foot find her and silence her, and then you see April O'Neil down there, waiting for the subway, and then she literally got slapped by the
Got
foot.
knocked
And he was
out.
like,
Yeah.
"Shut your damn mouth!" I was like, "Dude."
Oh
but
man, parents.
Rashad, they have a part two to Haunted Mask, but the part two isn't that great because it's about a brother or no,
Mhm.
Yeah,
was it Chuck? Was it what I think it was Chuck or Steve, whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, anyways, like they got a second mask, but instead of like um having the green mask, it's like this old man's mask. So like when he wears it, it turns you into an old person, pretty
Oh
much.
shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So that could be cool. I think that could definitely be remade because I just don't think that was like a strong follow up to the first like Haunted Mask. Now what Disney does with the fucking Haunted Mask is just atrocious. Like they have this plain white mask, right? And the way that they have it set up, it's not like different stories and stuff like that. It's just like a combination of different stories that they put in one. Terrible
Mhm.
idea. But the mask that they use is like a plain white mask, like you would see in like a play or something like that. But once the chick puts it on, she turns into a troll because it in real life she's just like a troll. She likes to troll people, so the mask will turn you into whatever
Uh,
the person. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool idea, but it just looks so fucking stupid and it's not scary at all. It's terrible
The execution was not there. You know, if you would have had
Yeah,
some talented, competent writers, then they could have did something with that.
because I'm not against that. Like, whatever, like you are, like, or
Mhm.
just your mindset or some shit like that. That's what the mask is going to turn into. But yeah, like Terry said, like it's just the execution wasn't there. It was terrible.
Yeah, because
They're
kind of
coming
like
out
your
with a second.
girl, because kind of like your girl, she was like really scared. Like she got scared really easily, and so the mask turned her into what she hated was being scared. So now she took pride in scaring people. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's some dope shit. And then Tony brings up, "Are You Afraid of Dark?" Now, "Are You Afraid of Dark" was much more scarier than the Goosebumps. Like they had some shit on there.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Like the Ghastly Grinner, that was my favorite shit. Like that. That was like before art. You know what I'm saying? That was like that was like a creepy ass shit. Like because it was like a comic book character that would come to life and go into like the real world, which I really like the Are You Afraid of the Dark, the revival series, because I feel like that takes a lot of risks. It's a lot darker. Surprisingly darker. I was like, whoa, this is pretty extreme for like for kids, for a kids show and stuff like that. And and just like each season is like a different story. But they always kind of reference the Ghastly Grinner. I was just like, bro, they need to do that story because I would feel like just with the state of like comic book movies and stuff like that, it would be really dope to kind of see them bring out the Ghastly Grinner and whatnot. But
What,
I'll send
like
you that
one?
episode if you want to check it out.
Well, I agree with you that the Are You Afraid of the Dark is better than the Goosebumps stuff. I still prefer the original Are You Afraid of the Dark because there are a handful of episodes in there to me that are still top tier, even over most of the new stuff that they do nowadays when they try to do these shows where they have a bunch of different stories and characters. Like to me,
Mhm.
one in particular would be the shiny red bicycle,
Oh
which is
yeah,
the
that was good.
story. Like, yeah. So you know that one. For the humans that don't know, to sum it up real quick, is you have two kids, best friends, and one of them he happens to go over the ledge and he falls in some water and he drowns and dies. And the story is that the man, one of the characters, he gets older and something happens with his brother and his friend shows up again to sort of help him out with that situation. And like, even though that's not necessarily as overtly terrifying as like a Freddy or something, it doesn't need to be, because it's just the idea of like, grief and second
Yeah.
chances and a
hmm
chilling experience of someone letting you know like they're not mad at you, but they're trying to warn you of something dangerous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and even like the one episode, I forget I think it was called Dead Man's Flow or something like that, where the pool
Yeah.
episode that shit was scarier than Night Swim.
Yeah.
Night
Like
Swim.
that's what Night Swim should have been. But I was like, bro, like you have this fucking like really cool effects too, like really cool practical design with the monster, the creature, or whatever, and just like
Yeah, that creature looked pretty interesting. Like, I have to always have to try to explain it to humans in a certain way, because I'm like, yeah, it looked terrifying, but you know how I am. Like, nothing don't be scaring me like that. But to me, the monster was something where, when I would watch that with friends and stuff, they got scared and shit when they saw that come out of the water. They're like, damn, that
mhm.
should look crazy. And I was like, yeah, that was a show when I was a kid. Like, that's the cool stuff they used to make for us. Like stuff where, the parents come in the room and they're like, wait, what the hell is this? You're like, oh, it's Are
Mm.
You Afraid of the Dark? They're like, you sure this is for kids? Like, yeah, this is on Nickelodeon.
Mm.
Yeah, this shit was crazy. That shit really kind of pushed the edge of what you could do with like in a kids show for sure. Like, and both had really dope intros. Are You Afraid of the Dark? So it was a little bit creepier, and like I just remember like because going on TikTok and seeing like all the stuff they kind of repost, like seeing like the old Snick blocks. Um,
Hmm.
Rashad probably doesn't know what that is, but like it was
Nah.
like Saturday Night Live, like it's not Saturday Night Live, but like Saturday night like block for like Nickelodeon stuff. They'll have like they'll play a bunch of different shows. Like they'll might play like Keenan and Kel,
All
um,
that. Yep.
all that, and then I think they would end it off with like Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff like that.
Yep.
So That was dope. That was fucking phenomenal. Like Stats from Saturdays and shit was fucking fire and shit like this.
And what I like too is like how you said they would end it off with "Are You Afraid of the Dark?" It came on in the evening. You know what I mean? Like everybody's out of school and stuff, and then they would advertise it and it would come on. And man, I used to just love like, waiting and watching it and stuff turned on like back when you had only 99 channels available kind of shit.
Yeah.
And another one too that I really like. I'm not sure if you saw this one, Perp or Rashad. Like it's called The Renegade Virus, and the story. You have this boy, like he was fascinated with video games, and he had this one teacher who was like developing his own game, and then it's like the virus like kind of came to life because his brother was trying to mess with him, and then he put it into the game, and then the virus literally manifested into this crazy silver Frankenstein looking midget character, and like the way that he looked and his laugh and shit, I was like, man, if that shit walked into somebody's room right now, they fucking turn white seeing that shit.
The 13th Floor, that was a good one too. And like that's what I like about the Revival series. They will mention certain characters from that original series and stuff, like what's to do with the magic shop and shit like that. I forget his name.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Damn it. Yeah, he was like a bigger guy.
Sorry, something with it. But like they'll mention him Yeah, they'll mention him in like a season or something like that, and you'll have all these different things, little Easter eggs and stuff like that. Just hints. Like the guys that were involved with that Revival series, they knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. Like they knew the source material. But they also made it kind of like their own at the same time, but also paying respects to the OG series. It's fucking dope. That third season wasn't the greatest, but like I said, I still appreciate them trying to push that edge or just like putting little Easter eggs of like the OG series in there.
What about Laughing in the Dark, Perk? With that
Laughing in the Dark was crazy.
With that creepy ass clown and shit. I was like, yep, no.
Yeah, like I'll send you some of these episodes though, Rashad. You gotta definitely check them out because I think you enjoy them and whatnot. Because it's like I feel like Are You Afraid of the Dark is like a little bit more Twilight Zoney in a way, compared to Goosebumps, where Goosebumps is like it's like it could be a little bit more silly and stuff like that. But those two are really fucking great, man, for that time. But like I said, we don't got no like real main topics for the night. Just wanted to talk about like some dope horror movies. Like what are some of our favorite horror movies that came out this year so far? And it seems like there's only two big horror movies left to come out this year. I think it's going to be like The Heretic, and Nosferatu. Because I was looking at the list, I was like, damn, we don't got no more horror movies pretty much coming out. Everything came out this month. Time Cut comes out, but it's just that shit. Did you watch Totally Killer, Rashad?
Totally Killer. Oh, that was last year, right?
Yeah.
The one where it was like they went back in time and shit was like Back to the Future or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? I started it, bro, but I never finished it.
I would say finish it. I actually really enjoyed that. I was like, yo, out of all the shit Blumhouse could have put out, they should have put this out in theaters. This is better than anything they put out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But so pretty much Netflix is coming out with their own kind of copy of it. So apparently Time Cut came out like was in development or something like that before Totally Killer. But it's like when you watch the trailer, it's literally the same exact premise. But the only difference is Time Cut, she's going back into the back into the 2000s and not the 80s. So that's the only real difference. But like when you watch the trailer, if you watch the movie and stuff, like, and it's just like, damn, it's like the same damn movie, but it could be better. We'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, I don't know, because Totally Killer for me, like the concept was cool, but I don't know, for some reason I just couldn't connect with it. I don't know if it's because it had that 90210 kind of teen kind of popcorn, like not popcorn, but like bubblegum shit to it, where I'm like, I don't know, just something about it was like I couldn't connect with it or the character.
I'll go back to it. I would say revisit it for sure.
Revisit it.
Like I think you would like it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like groundbreaking or anything, but I found it to be pretty funny. Like the humor,
Right.
like worked from Terrence. You saw Totally Killer, right?
No, but I've heard of it.
Oh, oh yeah, you gotta watch that. You gotta definitely check that out. But they got that coming out. I think that's Mischief Night that comes out or Halloween night.
What about
Don't
that?
really know.
What about that werewolf movie? Isn't there a werewolf movie coming out with your boy Frank Grillo?
Yeah, I seen the trailer for that. That looks
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That could be cool. Um, and it's just interesting, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing like this resurgence of like I've said this countless times that like we're seeing this resurgence of fucking werewolf movies. Um, Speaking of which, Blumhouse dropped the second trailer for Wolfman, and it's just like they couldn't help them. They couldn't help themselves by showing the fucking Wolfman. Like it's just like
Wait, they
I would
showed
have
him?
liked to actually. Well, you could see glimpses of it moving and stuff, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
like
if you like pause
if
it,
you freeze it, if you freeze it, you can see him, and it looks just like that picture they used at Halloween Horror Nights where they had him the cosplay or whatever, and people was like, "That there's no way the werewolf looks like that." Nah, that's exactly how he looks.
Wait, you said this is a new trailer, right?
Yeah,
yeah, it's a new
Okay,
trailer
yeah,
that's playing
I
and
didn't see
whatnot.
the
But
movie. Okay.
yeah.
but yeah,
He looks like he looks like a cross between Teen Wolf's Pops and Jack Nicholson Wolf. That's basically what he looks like.
Well,
yeah, it's
Jack
just like
Nicholson's wolf looks more intimidating than that Teen Wolf shit.
I'm saying, well, I mean, it's a mixture of both of them because he's got like the white hair and shit, like Teen Wolf's Pops, and
Right.
then they has like that Jack Nicholson look as well.
I brought this up. I don't know if Terrence was here, but I know Terrence remembers this show, Big Wolf on Campus.
Yep.
That show was fire.
Mm.
That was pretty good. That was cheesy as hell too, but it's dope. And hopefully after Blumhouse, cause I just I hate talking down on films without seeing them, but it's Blumhouse. I already know. Just I gotta set my expectations super low. Um,
Damn.
they could have definitely released this shit because that shit was supposed to come out this month. They could have definitely released it this month.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I always tell humans that when they put out a picture or a sample of a song or a teaser trailer for a show or movie, if humans are liking it or disliking it, it's their fault. Because the
Mm,
whole point of those samples and trailers and teasers and things is to increase excitement. So if you
right.
failed to do that, it's their fault, not yours. So you did nothing wrong by either having high or low expectations. They should have did what they
Yeah.
could to make you excited.
Yeah, and hopefully when I watch the movie, like I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, this is actually not bad. Because the person that's directing it directed Invisible Man. I wasn't blown away by Invisible Man like everybody else was, but it was still an interesting
It was
take.
cool.
You know,
It was
um,
better than that Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. I'll tell you that.
yeah.
I
I only
never
remember
watched.
that shit.
Yeah, I never watched that. And then the fact that it's a January release, that also lets me know that it's probably most likely
Yeah,
going to be terrible. But I guess that's a strategic move because there's not much competition in January. So I don't know how much the budget
yeah.
was,
It,
but they're probably banking on making their money back at least. But let's release it in January where there's no competition.
and January's have kind of switched up because now it's like you get certain movies sooner, like February and stuff. So like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like it'll be hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get some of those Oscar-esque movies and stuff that like get limited releases in December and just come out and then a wide release in January. So
Right.
we'll have to just wait and see with that. But I'm just my expectations are super low just because of you know um Blumhouse's track record. They haven't put out nothing that has just made me like, oh man, this is what great Blumhouse. Like people love that Speak No Evil shit, but me, I just felt like that was just another generic type of horror movie. Speaking of which, I don't know if y'all saw the trailers for The Strangers Chapter 2. That's out too. And it seems like they're angling it where it's like the strangers are like from this religious cult. I don't know how I feel about that shit, but
Oh wow.
Um,
Another holy
okay,
horror
so
shit.
I haven't seen the trailer for that. I need to watch it. So I have watched the other Strangers films, like the original one, and then the Pray at
the
Night,
best one.
and then the Chapter 1, right? And I understand. that is based on true events that the news failed to showcase to the world, even though those mass individuals killed dozens of individuals, and you literally had to find out through the internet, which is why I don't watch the news because they're trash. But with that said, the fact that they're going with this sort of religious angle, um, that's interesting because technically, from a history standpoint, a lot of religious individuals have murdered hundreds of thousands of individuals. So, that's something where it's easy to digest. I just don't know how real that is to the actual killers, the mass individuals. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you trust Blumhouse to do that shit right? No.
Um. So okay, like when it comes to movie studios, I can't really say per se that I'm a fan of movie studios or not, unless it's Disney. They fucking trash. Like that would be the exception. But in general, I feel like it always depends on who the writer is, who the director is, the talent they got lined up, and how the product looks. Even if it's from something like Blumhouse, to where,
Yeah.
for me, their stuff, it just depends on if I like it or not. Sometimes I do,
Right.
sometimes I don't. But aside from my overall taste, objectively, a lot of their stuff is just okay. Like it's passable. It's not. Oftentimes, it's not anything great. So I'm always curious to see when they're going to have something that
But
will break the internet, so to speak.
but isn't that crazy though? Like, cause like Blumhouse used to be that studio. They came out with like shit like Sinister. Even like I was a big fan of Paranormal Activity, but they used to put out some like pretty innovative stuff or just different exciting things. And it's just like they regressed into being like I said, like the Disney of horror. Like, they're just really safe. They they put way too much shit in their trailers, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, yeah.
it is what
Sinister.
it
I,
is.
I had a conversation earlier about that with a friend, and I said, I'll tell you what, humans be talking about most of these horror movies nowadays. I will put Sinister up against any of them from a writing standpoint and from
Great movie.
sheer cinematography. Just the
Mhm.
idea of the build up and what they did and the stuff they showed you. I was like, put anything next to it, I'll destroy it with Sinister. That's how much I was able to invest in that film, especially from a writing standpoint, like the way that I used to write my stories. I'm like, now Sinister is something like where if they put it on my desk, they're like, hey man, T, what you want to do with this? I'm like, I can work with this. It's kind of
Mhm.
it's kind of up my alley. So yeah, shout out to Sinister.
Yeah,
Speaking
I
about
just left
some,
for the first time last year too. That I had a first time watch for that movie, and yeah, that shit stuck with me, man.
you gotta watch that. You have to see that in theaters, though, man. Like that whole atmosphere
Yeah.
is perfect, perfect,
Or
perfect
not why? Well,
atmosphere.
I got a big ass wall in my living room, so I
Hmm.
put it on the projector with the surround sound and
Oh, okay,
everything, and so
okay.
I had this
No,
so the
no,
same
no,
kind of
Rashad, you
effect,
can't
man.
be. Nope. You gotta like purpose saying. Like I always tell humans, Rashad, like you can have the best setup, but we all know that the theater experience cannot be replicated because of the atmosphere,
Yeah,
and more importantly, with the crowd. That crowd reaction with you, you
Yeah,
can't do that
that's.
at home.
I remember that shit for Sinister,
yeah.
but but there's been some really dope like horror stuff on television. Like recently, I just watched Hysteria with Bruce Campbell. Fire. That shit
Mm.
surprised the fuck out of me, bro. Like I was like, Peacock just came out and just dropped like two back to back bangers with Hysteria and Teacup. Now Teacup could fumble the bag or fumble the ball by the end of this, but so far it's intriguing. Not gonna spoil what it is, but Teacup is dope. But Hysteria, how they handled the whole satanic panic stuff um and just kind of flip the story a bit and just super intriguing. I highly recommend checking out Hysteria if you have Peacock and also Teacup. And
I'm
also if you have
surprised. I'm surprised by it.
if you have Amazon or MGM Plus or whatever the fuck, watch From. You got to watch From. Like if you're a horror fan, you got to watch From. Like I'm always going
Uh,
to say that.
I'm gonna don't worry, Perp. I'm gonna check out From. Humans have been telling me to watch it, but I'm surprised though that those two materials is on Peacock, because I always tell humans like out of the streaming services, that's a bottom of the barrel kind of thing. But every
For
once in
real.
a
Yeah.
while, they might have something where you're like, wait, man, this is fire. Which one is this on? Like, oh,
They'll creep
Peacock.
up,
Like, what the
and
fuck?
that's the same thing with like Apple TV Plus. Apple TV Plus be putting out a lot of dope originals and stuff like that, and they just be creeping up on you. The same thing with Peacock. Like outside of the horror stuff, they got the Fight Night series. I didn't watch it yet, but I hear good things about that. And then they got the Crystal Lake series. That makes me infinitely more excited. Now that it's just like, okay, I'm more I'm more looking forward to that series now that I see that they can produce really good horror shows on this platform. So
Right. No. You're right. It's just like if I made something and they were like, "Hey, man, we're gonna shop this around." They're like, "We're gonna put it on Peacock." I was like, "I will toss you out a window if you want to put it on that streaming." So there is no
Hmm.
way.
it's
Well,
just a
shit.
weird.
Well,
It's still a weird stream, sir.
Peacock's better than Amazon right now because Amazon you got to pay to watch every fucking thing on there. Just about.
How's
Right,
that
but
working though? Like as
Amazon
far
got
as
some
like the
console.
Hmm?
how's that work as far as like the whole like I know there was that whole controversy with Amazon Prime and stuff like people that weren't getting ads are now getting ads or some shit like that. Like
Yeah, now they have it where if you want it without ads, of course you got to pay more. So you can upgrade your service and then get it without ads, and then damn near 70-80% of the content that's on there you have to pay to watch. So I mean,
oh,
to
that's
me
weird.
right now, you to my bottom of the barrel shit. I watch Amazon. Only reason I got Amazon is because of The Boys. That's it. The Boys and
I was just
and
about to mention
Invincible.
that. That's see, what you're saying about them fucking over individuals that actually get it. That is 1,000% true. But
Yeah,
I was just speaking from a legitimacy standpoint. The idea that because it has The Boys and Invincible, like fire ass shows, like if you want to put your show or movie there, and humans hear that it's on Amazon, that has value to it because of those properties.
right.
What up, Chop? Yeah,
Uh,
every platform just needs one good show to yeah, just one good show, but also, you can't just rely on that one show. Like that's where I feel like Disney fucked up at, where they rely on just one show and be like, all right, we're just gonna give you one show a year type shit. But like, nah, you gotta flood these streets to damn near. You gotta flood
Yeah,
you gotta
they've
feed
been
your
flooding them.
customers.
They've been flooding them. That's the problem. Like, don't flood it like Disney because they trash. Like when they came out with
Yeah,
the Mandalorian, that was the hottest shit in the world. I even had the armor appear on my body when I saw that first episode. I was bumping that theme all day and every day. And then after that, it was like a million shows of just filler and shit. They're like, hey, see what we setting up? Ain't that pretty cool? I'm like, no, you're wasting my fucking
mhm.
time. That's what it
yeah.
turned into.
I've always said, Chop. I always said like Shutter. Honestly, like especially if you're a horror fan, like is the best value for your dollar. Like it's only
Yeah.
$7 a month, and it's the only streaming service that I know of that has a comment section that you can sit there and comment on movies, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Really?
saying. And yeah, and
Oh
they
shit!
don't they
No, I
don't
didn't
they
know.
don't police nothing or anything. Like you can just straight up shit on a movie. Like I see people do like because they rate it like 1 out of 5 skulls. So I see a lot of movies that put like half a skull or some shit. Like it'd be like this movie is ass or this movie's trash or just you know
Yeah.
be like and like you could do that for any one of their movies and stuff like that. Like things that aren't Shutter originals, you could do that for. You know what I'm saying? So like it's the best value and I know Disney
Yeah.
is implementing like their whole TV thing that they're doing, but it's like Shutter's already done that, Tubi's already done that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Pluto TV has already done that. So but yeah, speaking about Amazon though, like I said, now you can watch from though, Rashad.
On
You can
Amazon,
watch
yeah.
from. Yeah.
Like, yeah, because wasn't this another streaming platform that does that too, right? Where you can rate a movie and then kind of like leave a little review on it or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if it was Amazon or it's one of them you can do that with, or it might have been Tubi. Shit, I can't remember. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
old man brain kicking in.
yeah, man. Shutter's doing it right, and I wish like not wish, but like, somebody like Netflix could definitely benefit from that because I still think Netflix is the best overall for
Oh,
me.
absolutely, easy,
Um,
easy.
is the because it's they're starting to turn things around with their movies, but as far as them releasing their movies in theaters, they should take the Shutter approach where Shutter will release a movie, it'll be in theaters for like a month, maybe
Mhm.
less, or just a month, and then the next month it'll be on their streaming service and stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah,
Amazon was, I mean, not Amazon, but Netflix was trying to do that. Well, their thing is they would release it like for like a week or two, and then they would
right.
put it on, on their on Netflix or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
And Netflix, they have that stock. Like if somebody come out and be like, hey man, I'm a star on Netflix, that means something. Everybody cheer. I mean, you say you a star somewhere else, they're gonna be like, which one is that? Like, it's not gonna get the same
mm,
room response. So
Right.
Netflix being the king that all these other streaming services have tried to copy, they should maintain their status by making good decisions. They make enough of them because they have, just overall properties in terms of whether it's something already established or something they created themselves, and they got the different country material and stuff.
yeah,
They got a really nice horror selection too, I might add, even from other countries. So
right,
all they got to do is just lean a little bit more towards the side, and they'll be more than fine. It's not like they
yeah.
they fumbling
And
or nothing.
and I know they're making their own theater, so that's probably why there's like, all right, we might as well
Mhm.
just make our own theaters instead of taking this shit to AMC and Cinemark and shit like that. Even though
Right.
you can still just double down and make your money now, but for
Right.
some odd reason, what I'm saying, like they can't really get around to doing it, or I don't know, because like this year they've been releasing decent movies like Society of the Snow, History Daughters, the What's Inside, that new horror movie that has a lot of people talking. So it's interesting, what I'm
So it's
saying.
my
But
Netflix.
yeah,
You know what?
Yeah.
The thing about Netflix though, I don't know if they're still doing this, man, but their movies be long as shit. And I guess the
for the
movies, I
most part,
guess the
yeah.
movies be long because they know it's not going to be released in theaters
Like,
because a lot of times they try to. That's why studios be like, okay, we have to cut some time out because we want to get as many showings as possible. You know what I mean? So if you're building
mhm.
a movie theater and you're trying to get the maximum amount of showings, you can't be putting out 2.5 hour fucking rom coms. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
got you got to shorten them shits.
Yeah.
like their movie inside outside, like the new zombie family drama
Mhm.
they have. That's a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah,
It's pretty lengthy, but like I felt I didn't feel the runtime. The same thing with the martial arts like assassin jump they just put out as well. It's called
Mhm.
the
Oh,
Shadows
yeah,
of the Strays.
yeah.
That shit's fire.
I'm about to watch that with some
Um,
friends. Yeah.
that's almost 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah,
might have a point there, but
yeah.
they do have they definitely do have shorter ones too. I would say, but that's definitely something interesting to kind of think about.
I
That
mean,
Well, here, but I mean, okay, but how much should they think about it? Because when it comes to long movies, like if it's over 2 hours, it's considered long, right? But at the
right.
yeah,
same time, though, if you look at the top highest grossing movies of all time, they're all over 2 hours, every
yeah,
single
Yeah,
one of them.
yeah.
So to me, I feel like it just depends on the quality, right? Because if something is good, humans are not going to feel the runtime. But it's like if they're not sure about a product, when they see that runtime, they might be like, maybe
But
I'll
you
check
know
it
what?
out some other time. It's kind of long.
But at the same time, those top grossing movies are like those are rarities. You know what I'm saying? Like the top grossing movies in the world are either directed by James Cameron or they come from Marvel. You know what I'm
yeah,
That
saying?
that
And
that's
not
true.
everybody is a James Cameron. You know what I mean? So
Oh, absolutely
right,
not. There's
yeah.
only one, just like there's only one Quentin Tarantino and there's only one
Mhm.
Zack Snyder. And then the rest, they're kind of like little miniature versions of other directors we've already seen, either better or worse. But
Right.
with that said, when you think about James Cameron stuff, all of his stuff, it wasn't pulled from no IPs and stuff. It was just shit he made up,
It
which
was
is even
original, yeah.
harder than something like Marvel or anything else that has many decades of fans and established material.
Hmm.
and
So
Yeah.
if
chop here.
anything, James Cameron is a good example of how you can be original and still be a beast if you're good at what you do.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And speaking of Beast, Mike Flanagan, he is working on that Carrie series, which I'm
Ooh,
already sold, bro. You say Mike Flanagan, put him in a role with anything, like he's doing the
yeah,
Exorcist, so he gonna cook. He's gonna cook, man. Like I don't think he's
yeah.
ever really the only fumble that he really had for B, and it's not even like a bad series or anything like that. It just wasn't for me. It was like Blind Manor and the Midnight Club. The Midnight Club had like potential, but it's just that first episode kind of like, oh man, like I don't
Started
know
to
why
teeter.
he had to throw all them jump scares in just one fucking episode, and just it's crazy.
I'm,
But
I'm not I'm not saying that Carrie series is gonna be bad. It's just that I remember the original Carrie, great masterpiece, and then
Mhm.
the follow-ups and the other renditions were awful. So to me, it does have untapped potential because I'm like, even though I've seen it a million times over, because all of that shit was bad, it's like,
mm.
can you please do something at least decent? That's all I ask.
Now I didn't know about the original Carrie story, that like what Carrie looks like is not what we see in the original. Like she's a little bit more heavy set,
Mm.
so they'll probably go more book accurate this time around or something like that. So it'd
Heavy
be
set
interesting.
is that like are we talking about like overweight or she just got a little belly? Like what we talking about?
I don't know. I think she's a little bit thicker. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit thicker
Oh,
than
okay.
like
Well,
she's not like skinny or like that. But I'd be interested to see what Mike Flanagan does just with
I mean
a.
that makes sense because you look at Sissy Spacek. Even though she had them bug eyes, that kind of scared you, but she wasn't a bad looking girl. So the fact that she was bullied like that, what I'm saying, it'll make more sense if she was overweight. What I'm saying, or kind of
well,
jacked
Mhm.
looking.
I mean, despite okay, so what from what I gathered from it, right, was the in terms of her appearance, I'm like, she look okay. Like I've seen a bunch of chicks that I would say are ugly, but at the same time, like aside from how she looked, it was also her behavior, what her mom was like. Like she had a lot of different variables as to why those trash humans decided to bully her. So
Mm.
when you add up all those variables, she didn't really need to be ugly or overweight because there's too many other things to point out as to why she got ridiculed.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
mom was a motherfucker, man. That bitch. You going
That's also
outside with them dirty pillows, breasts.
that.
They're called breasts, mama, and every woman has them.
That's also why I like that's also why I like that new show Hysteria too, because there's definitely like there's two characters that remind me of that dynamic of like Carrie and her mom and stuff. I was like, bro, that just feels just like Carrie and her mom right there with these interactions and stuff like that. But
I heard.
Terrence, what
Hmm.
so far, what is your favorite horror movie of the year?
That's easy. Terrifier 3.
Mm.
Or give me a top three. Give me three.
Hmm. Man, what I'm trying to think of all the ones I saw this year.
Did
Terrifier
you wa-
3.
did you watch The Substance?
No, that's on my list to
Oh
watch.
man,
Oh yeah, you got to watch the
Yeah,
substance,
yeah.
man. That shit was
I
buck ass
like
wild.
I would have been seen it because it's like with certain movies, like because I watch so many movies,
mm,
there's so many that I watch on my own, and then there's the ones that I watch with the friends and
yeah,
stuff.
prioritize.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna see that one because
No,
I
because
had interest in that.
you talking about theater experience, Terrence. Like, yeah, I saw that at the cinema, bro. And when I say those last 20 minutes, all you heard, it was a packed crowd too, bro. All you heard was, "Oh my god, oh, are you serious?" And I was one of them. I was like, "What
You'll
the
never,
fuck?
Terrence. You'll never look at titties the same, bro. That's all I'll
What?
say, man.
I ain't want to touch a breast for a week."
Hey, okay, now knowing how Terrence is, you feel like I'm gonna have that kind of reaction, or will I just think it's cool?
I mean,
You'll know
it's
it.
not.
You'll know exactly what
You'll
we're
know it,
talking
yeah.
about when you
You'll
see it.
know it, yeah. I don't think it's gonna
Okay.
scare you where you're gonna get nightmare. But you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Um, all right. So
Yeah.
with that said, just like name some horror films, and then because like right now I'm only thinking about Terrifier 3. And
Late
then,
Night with the Devil.
Hmm.
yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I don't know if I would
Ma-
say that's one of my favorites, but yeah.
That was a good one, though. That I see that would be a lot of people's. That's what's so interesting about this year with horror movies. It's just like everybody's list is going to be different. You know, vastly different. Alien Romulus.
I liked Alien Romulus a lot. So I guess that one would be my number two. Like, cause mind you, um, like I'm going off of the enjoyment factor because there's a lot of them that were good, but I'm talking about just Terrence's preference kind of thing. So number one would be Terrifier 3, sheer enjoyment, and then Alien Romulus would be number two, and then what else? What else came out this year?
You saw Long Legs.
I did.
You saw Oddity.
That was
Yeah, Oddity was dope.
I didn't see all of Oddity because like I was watching it with friends and then too many interruptions, so I gotta finish it. But from what I saw, like I thought it was pretty good, but I need to finish that movie.
Okay, we need to kick Chop Shop off because he just mentioned Cuckoo and that was utter trash. So
I don't think it was trash, but like I don't think it was bad. Like I thought it was interesting. It was a different movie.
That movie almost gave me a goddamn seizure, man. Fuck that movie.
Yeah, that's it. So, Terrence, what you think about Long Legs? I think I asked you this before. But.
So, I feel like with that movie, there was a lot of me thinking about everything that was going on in the film. Like I would say one of those, thought-provoking kind of horror films. And then once you get to the end, I feel like that's when it, like I would say the last like 25 minutes is when it really started to pick up. So I feel like with that one, I was more fascinated than the idea of enjoying it. But it's just objectively, I would say that it was really good and like largely misunderstood in terms of the way that a lot of humans talk about it. So I guess so far with the mentions is just really two of them that I enjoyed, so to speak.
Yeah, you gotta run through it. You gotta run through the gauntlet and just watch all the 2024 horror movies and stuff. Because there's a lot of them. There was a lot of them came out this year.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
But to speak about
was Strange Darling a horror movie? Like I know it was. It was supposed to be horror, but I didn't think it was a horror movie though.
It's a horror thriller for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're dealing with like a serial killer and shit and all that, so it's like,
I was laughing more than anything. I thought that shit was funny to me, man. I thought Strange Dawn was like a comedy.
But going back to Long Legs, I just watched it again in theaters, because they had the whole special Q&A thing, and they showed a little bit of the monkey. Now the monkey, that looks really fucking fascinating. Like the little clip that I saw, I was like, okay, this is gonna be like him kind of leaning more towards like a horror comedy in a way, like a dark horror comedy.
I guess before I forget, I should tell you about a horror movie that I fucking just thought was complete dog shit mixed with piss. Like it's a movie called Rippy. It came out this year.
And is that the kangaroo shit?
Yes.
Oh, I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer for that.
That shit was like, so like I said, I do watch a lot of movies and I do love horror films, and it's a matter of prioritizing and all that. But I was with friends and they was like, hey man, the Rippy, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then you see the poster and the layout and stuff, and I was like, all right, yeah, let's watch it. And when I tell you that I was sitting there just rethinking my whole life because somebody greenlit that shit, like I'm not playing. Like the damn kangaroo looked like the effects on that shit look worse than something you would find in PS2 graphics. I was like, this movie is terrible. There's only one moment where I peaked, like kind of, I guess, perked up in interest, which was when I saw Michael Biehn. He's a legend. Kyle Reese in Terminator. You know what I'm saying? The Aliens. The second film. So he's a legend. So to me, it was cool to see him. But I was like, man, Michael Biehn, like Rippy, like really, like I feel like maybe he owes somebody a favor or something to be in that trash ass movie.
Get that check.
Yo,
man. He's getting that check.
I got something that probably topped that as most ridiculous, but it was ridiculous, but it was actually surprisingly entertaining. It was stupid. but it's entertaining. Like that movie Carved. It's one of those Halloween movies.
Oh yeah, I skipped
So
this shit. I didn't want to watch that, man.
watch it. No, you gotta watch it. Just for pure just laughter, bro. Because like here you got this killer pumpkin that is a slasher. It's
Right.
funny as fuck, bro. Just the concept and just it like it feeling oppressed. That like because it starts off they get this creepy ass pumpkin. It sees like they're having this pumpkin carving contest, and instead of this fucking pumpkin letting it itself be stabbed, it automatically goes to just killing people. And it has really dope kills though. Like I would say, like some of the kills of these shits, I was like, I appreciate the practical effects here. And
Okay.
your boy Elvis from Mr. Crockett is in it as well. He doesn't he don't survive that long at all, but like it's funny, bro. It's actually pretty funny.
Okay.
All right, Perp. I'll get okay. So from just enjoyment, like these are my top three. Like just enjoyment, not like oh it's a good movie, but you know I didn't care for it. So
Gotcha.
number one would be Terrifier 3 for sure, easy. And then number two, I guess I'll say Alien Romulus, and then the third one I'll say Abigail. Like when you talk about just
Okay.
enjoyment for me, like those would be the three if I had to pick three. But
I'm not mad at that.
so for sure though, out of all the horror movies that I watched, like even in the last 2 years, I would say like Terrifier 3, like that was my shit right there.
Yeah, something special about that movie. Rashad, what would you say your top 3 horror movies of the year so far?
So far, definitely Terrifier 3, Late Night with the Devil, and I would say The Substance, and
That's a solid 3.
And I would give an honorable mention to Oddity, and I would say Alien Romulus. I could have put Alien Romulus top 3 just because the ending really threw me off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I didn't like the ending, and
That's
and
fair.
I'll say the biggest surprise horror movie for me is the Milk and Cereal. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That one came out of nowhere.
That was
I
cool.
was like that. That was
cool.
dope. That was dope. Yeah.
Um,
Now, if you talking about the worst, okay, are we saying worse also, or we get to that later?
We probably get that next, but go ahead,
real
Tim.
quick, Perp, so honorable mention that surprised me. Now y'all might laugh at this, but Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, like that shit.
Nah, that was dope.
Like that.
I like that.
That surprised me with like, I was like, okay, like I like the glow up of what they did with the characters and shit, like Pooh and Tigger, like they look beasts. Like so the effort from 1 to 2, I was like, man, 1 was terrible. 2 was better because of the kills and the way the characters look. And I was like, okay, I'm interested in the third one compared to like with number 2. I just watch by default because I love watching movies and I do love horror movies for better or for worse. So when I watched it, it was just like, damn, I'm actually entertained by this. I was like, yeah, take them humans out. I like, where Tigger at? Like, I was actually mad with him. I was like, I was watching it with the friends, and then I remember I got on the edge of my seat and I was like, yeah, that's right. They didn't kill your family. They killed our family. And then we got betrayed and left out in the woods. Like, so yeah.
And
I'm just reading that comment right there. Oh, so Abigail's not getting a sequel.
Yeah, and to your point, Terrence, it was interesting. What was I gonna say? Yeah. It was interesting how they tied in the first movie with that, and it's like they made it seem like it was like a one of those like recreations and stuff like that. And I was sold on the universe after that. I was like, yeah, give me the Pinocchio shit. Give me Peter Pan. Give me the Bambi. I can't wait for Bambi. Bambi looks crazy.
Oh shit.
That shit looks legit.
But yeah, the Pinocchio trailer looked crazy. Now, wasn't Pinocchio? What? It was a trailer that they showed.
Peter Pan, I think.
Peter Pan. Yeah, it was Peter Pan.
Yeah,
that shit was good. Wild.
Yeah, it does suck that Abigail it's not getting a sequel, even though I wasn't like blown away by it. Still entertaining, bloody.
Right.
But the surprise from Melissa Barrera is Your Monster. That shit is fire. Like, if you want a really dope rom-com, they haven't made any like good rom-coms in like so fucking long, but that is a really dope rom-com. twist on like the Beauty and the Beast kind of story, and you really get to see Melissa's range the most in that film.
So
Like she goes.
it's not like that fucking Lisa Frankenstein shit.
It has elements of that, but I feel like it's better executed. Like I mentioned that in my review, I was like, yeah, this is like a better version of that.
Okay.
But you know, the thing about Lisa Frankenstein, I definitely think that like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is definitely gonna have like a cult following and stuff like that, because it's definitely geared towards like the younger crowd and stuff like that.
Like
I saw your review, Perp, and like, you know, like I said, like to me, I want to watch every movie at least once. You know, that's impossible, but that's what I've been doing since I was a kid. So because of Melissa Barrera, I was like, I'm gonna put it on the back burner. You know what I mean? And I'll get to it. And then I saw your review, so I was like, okay, maybe Terrence will enjoy it when he watches it.
Yeah, it's really dope, man. Because like she shows her range. Like she goes from being funny to showing you that she's vulnerable, and like, and there are musical numbers in there, but it's not egregious. It's not egregious. I'd say just watch it for Melissa's performance. I think it was really incredible, and just the way that it just came about, I just like it made me think. I was like, oh, so that's what the monster is, or it's just one of those that are gonna keep you very really engaged and stuff like that.
I like her anyway. So I had a crush on her since Scream, so I'll watch it just for her.
Yeah, she's gotten much better. She's improved. Like she's gotten much better. I feel like since Scream 5. So
I'll tell you what, when I was watching Scream 6 in the theater with friends, I had my both hands on the cheeks, just looking at Jenna and Melissa, like, damn, like, see, that's how I knew the killers were insane, because I'm like, how the hell you gonna see them and be like, stab? I'm like, you supposed to stab them with something else, but I guess that's why y'all the killers. Sometimes in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tess, so that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, that's like a guilty pleasure for you, right?
I don't know if I would say that. Like let me put it like this. I found it entertaining, but objectively, I'm like, it's not a good movie, but it is an improvement. And like when I think about how they're trying to do this whole shared universe, like kind of like with Marvel, but just with those characters, I'm like, that can be intriguing, and there is room for improvement, which is rare when it comes to a franchise. Because usually, if you start off with some failed shit, like that first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I'm like, your shit is done. It's a wrap. Kind of like with the Mummy when they try to do that with Tom Cruise. One outing and that shit was a wrap. It was done. But because of the second one, I'm like, man, I'm actually intrigued, and I'll leave it at that, because I know what it is objectively. Like my brain is able to do both, regardless of what I may find entertaining.
Now that Screamboat movie, that shit looks goofy as fuck.
Awful.
When I saw the little rat like come around the corner, I was like, bro, that shit's about to be fucking hilarious. Like
I came close to watching that today, right? Because I had like about 2 hours to burn, so I had time to watch something. And out of all the shit I could have watched, I like that Steamboat one I could have watched, and then what's the show you try to put me on, Perp? Teacup. I could have watched that.
Teacup.
But instead, I had somebody reach out to me. They say, "Hey man, have you heard of this movie called Eat? Man, you gotta check it out, man. That's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time." And
I feel like I've seen it. I really feel like I'll watch this shit.
Man, bro, I went to Pluto and watched that, and I said, "What the hell?" Like, dog, the whole thing it has the same premise as Substance, because this is about an actress who's getting older and she's having a hard time getting work, and so now she's like very like she's like has a lot of anxiety and angst and shit, and she's like going through it. So when she starts having these little fits, these little tantrums, she starts feeding on herself. So first it starts out with her biting her nail, and then she bites a little skin off, and then I guess it gets good to her, so she starts eating her own fucking hand.
Some hot sauce.
Yeah. So
I feel like that reminds me of the poster that you sent me. It reminded me of that movie Raw. That's why I was thinking, like, is that the same thing? But then I was like, no, it's Raw. Two different fucking titles. But
yeah, that shit was crazy. I'm like, man, it had to be some white bitch too, right?
Unseasoned.
I just want to say this in case Melissa Barrera is listening. You know, can you please
I
keep your
wish.
mouth shut about anything political? Because I don't want to see you get thrown out from other projects and stuff. I felt like
Yeah.
you and your friend Jenna were gonna be in number 6, and then that or number 7, I should say, and then like you guys are gonna finish up. Even though technically 6, you did finish your story, but I felt like
Yeah.
the way she was looking at that mask, like she was gonna be the killer, and then Sydney would have to return to get her shit
Yes,
straight.
I'm like, bro, I'm just like, yo, make her a killer. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
like that would be such a dope kind of turn for her character. Like this whole time she's just like fighting the urge, and then she kind of just
Yep,
embraces it.
I've been
Wasn't Billy
saying
Loomis
that
her
for a
pops or some
while.
shit
Like,
like that?
You said what?
That's what wasn't Billy Loomis her pops?
Yeah.
yes. That's why I was telling humans. I was like, man, Sydney
Her mom
is
gotta
the
be bad
GOAT.
as hell too.
I'm like,
Word.
Sydney is the GOAT. I'm like, what better way to have her come back than to snap up one of the new main characters? Like, yep, of course, Sydney would have to take her ass out. Like, I took your father out, you're next, bitch, and then she just stab her.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
she
dope.
falls to her death.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Damn.
But I'm looking forward to what Melissa does next. You know what I'm saying? Anything she's in, I'm definitely, I'm all there. And I would love to see one of these days because we're getting so many dope female characters in horror. Like I would want to see like Mia Goth, Melissa Barrera, Laura Rivera, like all of them in one movie, and even Sydney Sydney Sweeney or some shit like
Sydney
that.
Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney.
And like Jenna Ortega.
Hold on. Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney
Okay,
Sweeney.
look. Sydney Sweeney looks good, but she is a bad actress to me. So if they
You
can
think
have her,
Damn.
she's not that bad? She's not a bad actress. I don't
she
say
is
because
bad.
like
She's a
Immaculate, she was
bad
good. She was
actress.
solid. She was solid in Immaculate.
Yeah,
Like
she was
that kind of
solid
won me over.
Yeah,
That won me over.
her ass is solid, but her acting, I'm like,
No, I don't think her ass is solid now. That should look plump as hell.
no. You gotta see her in her recent film. Like it was solid the way she was standing, and then you could just tell like you could throw a brick and the brick would shatter. Like I'm telling
Oh
you,
Jesus! Damn. I still watch it. I don't give a damn.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, I ain't against her, but I'm just like she fucking sucks. Like everything I see her in, and then when I saw her in Madam Web, I was like, nah, it makes sense that you in this movie, but
I never seen that one. I never seen that.
But my favorite 3 off rip so far, it's obviously Terrifier 3, The Substance, and Long Legs. That's my favorite so far.
Okay.
That could change by the time like Nosferatu.
You put Long Legs over Late Night with the Devil?
The way I have it, I want to explain it later, but like, because what I liked about Long Legs and Oddity, because like those are like right next to each other, is like the atmosphere. I'm really big with like atmospheric type of horror movies and stuff like that, and those two had like the best atmosphere. But I like Late Night with the Devil because of his style and stuff like that. And another one I put up higher now is like Mads, the new zombie joint on Shudder. I don't know if you heard about that one, Terrence, but it's like
definitely.
You've heard of it? You didn't watch it yet?
Mm-hmm. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I know what it is.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it because like that shit. Like the more I think about it, it's like that shit was really fucking dope and just it's a very unique take on like zombies or some shit like that, or
Well, let me ask you: Have any of y'all seen Under Paris, the shark movie from Netflix?
No, I didn't get the chance. I was starting to watch it, but I was just like, why am I watching the shark movie?
Man, let me tell you something. That's probably my guilty pleasure of the year because if both of y'all watch it and y'all take a shit on it, I understand, but it entertained because all right, imagine if Jaws won. All right, so play that on your mind. So you watching Jaws and you have the face off between Chief Brody and Quint against the shark, and the shark wins.
Okay. Saw some Thanos shit. Like, fine, I do it myself. I'm like,
yeah. So, dog, like the way Under Paris like ended, you're like, holy shit! Like, so it's called Under Paris. Literally, that's what the movie. Yeah, it Under Paris.
Where do I put Smile 2? Smile 2 is pretty low on my list. Not
Yeah,
too
that shit was
low,
low. So.
but like
Mm.
it's in like it's kind of like in the middle because like Naomi Scott did a fantastic job. Like her acting was like
Yeah, yeah.
the best thing
She's the
about that,
best
but then
thing about
everything
that movie.
else was the
Yeah.
problem.
Mm.
I agree. That's what I've been telling you. I was like, most of that movie, I was fucking bored. But at the same time, Naomi Scott is a good actress, unlike Sydney Sweeney. Like she's a good actress and she carried that entire movie. Like, so to me, and I knew she was a good actress before that because when she was the Pink Ranger in that Power Rangers movie, I was like,
Mhm.
are people
She's
just
fine.
ignoring her acting ability? Like,
Right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, so I was just like, are people just ignoring her acting ability? Like, they're like, so you sure she good to you? I'm like, I'm telling you, I got an eye for these things. Like, they just got to put her in something that humans can respect, and then that's when they'll give her a credit. Because if she keeps being in stuff that no one likes, when that happens, humans become biased most of the time, and they're not going to give you your flowers if they didn't enjoy something. I'm like, now me,
Yeah, lose
whether I
interest
enjoy
too.
something or not, I can just be like, no, you were good. I just wish you were in something that I enjoyed. That's all.
Yeah. The problem
So
with Smile 2 is just it just feels generic compared to the first one.
mm, yeah,
And I
that
feel
first
like
that first one put me to sleep.
but it does like I would definitely check out Smile 3 because I do like the fact that we're getting new leads every time. So, and it's getting a lot bigger. That might be an issue, and it being more self-contained is where I kind of prefer it. Like that's why I like the first one. But we'll have to kind of wait and see. I just feel like yeah, I appreciate them adding more gore, but at the same time, it felt like a PG-13 R movie. If that makes sense, but
Mm-hmm.
I
I don't
I
know.
just I have an interest in the Smile movies because
Yeah,
I am a Batman and a Joker fan. I was like, those stories are so blatantly Joker that I'm just like, how the hell are they not getting sued off of this? And I know why. It's for the same reason that when James Gunn, produced that whole Brightburn movie, which is Ultraman and DC Comics, I'm like, is because as long as you don't mention something directly, you can
yeah,
kind of get away with it. You have to walk that very fine line, but that doesn't mean that I can't call them out on it. But with that said, I am intrigued. So if they make a Smile 3, Terrence will be there, but I hope that, it's actually better than 2 and 1.
yeah, yeah. And they're gonna do a bunch of spin-offs and all that shit. Like you're gonna have frowns, smiles, and shit like that. Like I could definitely see them making a series called Smiles, which would be actually interesting if you had like 8 episodes and they're all like different people that were at the concert or like got affected by the Smile entity. So that would be interesting. You know what I'm saying? I like the Smile entity. Like, and if they continue this trend of like, there's no happy endings with these movies, I'm cool with that too. Like, I'm all
Absolutely.
for
I
that.
love that. Yeah, that stuff don't work. Oh, perfect. Earlier, my friend, right? You know like how they be doing that Joker smile and shit in the Smile movies?
Yeah.
My friend, he was doing that shit earlier. Like I went to the bathroom and I go in the kitchen and she had like a protein shake and she just had that smile and shit. And I was just like,
Look, you
see,
ain't that
if
happy over a protein shake.
right, I'm just like, I was
Oh,
like, see
protein
now,
shake.
if I was like, if I'm a scary nigga, like this would be scaring the shit out of me. But if you don't change that look on your face, you're gonna have to drop me off. In fact, I'm just gonna walk home because like, so then she dropped it and she was like, oh, I was practicing that. And I was like, why would you practice some creepy ass shit like that? See, this how you gonna scare people one day. I was like,
Yeah,
no.
the funny shit is like when they were doing the promotion things, whatever. Like you see the baseball games, the one dude broke character and shit. That shit was funny as hell
Oh
because he
shit!
saw
You
the
got to check
ball
out
come.
that comment.
He said what?
Now, as I was reading the comment here from Tony, oh, that'll be a hell of a lineup. Check that out.
Yeah, Florence Pugh, bro. Oh my god, bro! I saw that. We
Tony,
Live in Time. I was like, bro, this is a perfect movie just for
Tony,
one scene. You know what I'm saying? See
Tony,
them
Yeah.
biddies.
that is insane. Like you gonna hear in the news that everybody in that theater drowned from my semen. Like that's gonna be insane to see.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
You gotta
Yeah.
see, you gotta put Sydney Sweeney up there too, bro. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get.
Facts. Facts.
Oh
Yo.
yeah. Oh man, like see, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be a tragic day for everybody else. Yeah.
Bro, but that
But I told you, man. Yeah, Florence Pugh, she killed it in that movie, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised she get an Oscar nomination for that.
I want to see her in more horror too, like, you know, because like she was in Midsummer, right? That was her Midsummer.
Midsummer, which I never
she
watched.
So that was like the last time we see her in like a horror movie. It'd be dope to see her in another, because like there's so many talented females. It's just like, man, like Samara Weaving, she gonna be in Ready or Not too, and I think Melissa Barrera is gonna pop up in there.
Mhm.
So you know, it's just
So who you think
Regular
Perp had the
not,
best
too.
performance in a horror movie this year?
Ooh, oh man, because that's tough. Because I really like old girl from the first Omen.
Okay.
I really like Naomi Scott's performance. I probably have to lean towards The Substance though. It's either Demi Moore. I really like Demi Moore in this, but also Margaret Qualley. She did a fantastic job. But yeah, I'd have to lean towards that, like The Substance.
You're probably gonna be
Don't
surprised
get
at my
me-
answer, man. I
don't
think
get
my
me started
answer.
on that.
What do you say, Terrence?
No, I said don't get me started on the first Omen. That shit gave me a heart attack. Don't
Oh,
get me started.
wait, in a bad way or a good way?
Yes, yeah, in a bad way. Like objectively, Rashad and Perp, the movie is fine, but I just have issue when you break canon and stuff and tell me the
Yeah, I
stuff
feel
is
you.
connected to other movies.
The ending and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the whole possession scene, whatever, that shit was crazy. I was like, bro, she like getting off, like she like nothing right now, like. But
Yeah, that was the best acting. That was the best acting from her in the whole movie. You know, like if I'm gonna be honest. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Rashad.
But now, yeah, for me, now the movie was not great. I'm not even gonna say the movie was really good. Because you'd be like that movie kind of sucked. But man, the old lady from the front room.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. No, that shit was crazy.
Her performance by itself is worth the price of admission. Every time she was on screen, I was laughing. That old bitch was crazy.
Yeah, she racist as fuck too. Like she,
Racist
bro.
as
That the fucking like, why the fuck you need two canes? Like that shit crazy. Like you hear that shit, like,
and then
that was crazy.
and then it kind of creeped you out because when nobody was watching, you would see her. She would walk fast in them, so it's like she didn't even need the canes. So I think that.
Bro, I could only imagine. Like I'm thinking about it now. That shit would be fucking creepy as hell because old people creep the fuck out of me. And like, if she started running, like if she was actually fast, like.
Wait. Why old humans creep you out?
Bro, have you seen The Visit?
No.
You didn't see The Visit? Was that M. Night Shyamalan? That was M. Night Shyamalan, was it? No.
Visit? I don't know.
But you know what I'm talking about, Rashad, right?
I believe
so. Where the kids go see their grandparents, they end up not being their grandparents.
I mean,
I heard about that. Now I ain't never watched it though.
In a lot of horror movies, including X.
But no, I'm just saying they do creepy ass shit. Watch The Visit, you'll know what I'm talking about because there was this one specific scene where a character was it. What was it? What are those the little crawl spaces underneath people's houses?
The crawl, yeah.
Yeah, and that old bitch was under there with her, and just like she would just crawl with like, yo, that shit. I can't get that out of my mind. I don't even think about that.
Wait. So is it because of in the context of that movie, or is it just old humans in general that creepy?
It's a context in that movie and both, pretty much both. Like old people are usually creepy as fuck. Like that's the shit that could get to me. It's like creepy ass kids and creepy ass old people.
I always hear that too. It's like well, not so much old humans, but kids though. I hear all the time. It's like kids like scare humans and stuff.
You little bastard.
Yeah, like shit. When I saw Poltergeist 2, the old what's his name? Kane, right? The old guy, the preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I first saw that, man, that nigga freaked me out.
I was like, bro, there just be some creepy ass kids that are just unintentionally creepy. Like you was born like this. Like, why are you like this?
But I thought like kids are supposed to be like precious and stuff, and
no, they're demons. Have you seen The Good Son? They ain't precious. That motherfucker's a demon.
Yeah,
That
Yo,
motherfucker's a
the
demon.
good son is awesome. I love the good son. Yeah. or what was it? Orphan. I love the Orphan movies, but you know,
Orphan,
Yeah,
technically,
that's
yeah.
another reason why you don't trust him, because then motherfuckers could be whole grown ass men and shit like.
Yeah,
well, I think
yeah.
okay. So the actress though, she was legitimately a girl when they cast her, but
Yeah,
her character was meant to be like in her 30s. But then in the second one,
yeah.
he was already an adult, so it was like perfect fit. But I get what you're saying though. But if I were to meet that girl in the Orphan, the way she was presented at the beginning, she was doing the painting and stuff, and talking about how she was different. I'd be like, "Yep, we gotta adopt her." I wouldn't assume that like she was crazy as hell and stuff.
You tell me you see somebody like Gage, you ain't gonna be like, yo, why you like that, bro?
Wait. Okay, so if we focus on the context of the beginning, like where she was painting, why would I think that there was something wrong with her because she was painting? Yep.
Yeah.
Wait. What? So you would think something was wrong with her, like you found her like just painting in the room and stuff, like, and she
Yeah,
was
I'm like,
singing.
yo, you really nice. I might have to check your ID. Like,
Yeah.
wait.
like
So
you too nice for like, because usually little kids be doing finger paint, this be drawing a whole Picasso and shit. Like, I
I'll
but
said,
tell you,
I
man,
mean,
especially with wait till you have kids, because even my own kids creep me out a couple of times, man.
but I
Shit,
mean,
look,
but, okay, but let's look at the okay. That even though we all saw the Orphan films stuff, like if we remove what we saw, and just like I said, that the beginning scene, let's look at the positives. You know, she had a nice smile. She was a good painter. She was a good singer, and she just said that she wanted a family and stuff. I'm like, what's so bad about all that stuff?
how she go about it, she's deceitful. She
she
don't
does.
tell nobody her real age. She
I'll tell
walk
you,
around
I
like a
mean, but
grown, like a little child. She a grown ass woman.
just
yeah,
wait till
okay,
you,
that's true, but that's cheating. No, I'm saying like if we didn't know that information and we just were,
I
going
know.
off of
I know. I was
man.
figuring it out, bro. I was like,
Just wait till you have
I
married. Okay, you want to hear a real story about a kid that creeped me out? Okay, actually, it's my own damn. It's my own damn daughter. So check it out. My baby was about 1 at the time, right? She's still in diapers, and if you ever hear a kid walk, and that sound the diaper makes, right?
right.
So it's late at night, right? I had some company over, and so we didn't want to make any noise to wake my daughter up. So I put her in my bed in the back room. So me and my lady, we was in the living room, but we decided to do it on the floor, so we wouldn't make no noise, so wake her up. So we're on this pallet on the floor, we doing our thing, right? And it's pitch black dark, and all you hear is. I said, hey, you hear that? And she's like, no, keep going. I said, okay. So we still going. Then it gets closer. I said, no. I said, I hear something. And I swear to God, I look up, and my baby is standing right there, looking dead at us with her eyes big as shit. Like, Daddy,
like, shame on you.
yeah. I said, ah!
But isn't that like a precious like family moment? Like
Precious family.
I'm
What
just
the
saying
fuck?
the
Precious
child
family
was just
moment,
so
man.
attached. The child was so attached to you that.
No, dog. It's the sound. It's the sound of the diaper. The sound of the diaper in the dark, and then I look up, his motherfucker standing up right next to me, man.
On some ring you shit, like on some ring shit.
Okay,
Staying on the bed, like.
Okay, so now I don't
That's
have
funny.
children of my own, but I have babysat some humans before. So like my friend, when she had her son, right? Like her and her friend, or her and her man, who was a friend of mine at the time, they went to the, do their thing. They went to the store and they was like, we going to the movies and this and that. And I was always coming over the house anyway. So since I was there, they're like, hey, go ahead and watch our son. So here's what happened. I swear I put him in the crib, and like we talking about those big cribs, like where you got it don't make no sense for a child to be able to jump out or climb out of this crib. You know what I mean? Like it was just built different. So I put him in the crib, and then I, closed the door and stuff because I could have sworn he was asleep. So and then I hear a sound, and I go back and open the door, and he's just out of the crib, just like near the door, but not to where you can hit him when you come in. But he was like, you open the door, and he was just right there, and he was
Some Tommy
smiling.
Pickle shit.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you're supposed to be asleep. And then he started laughing. So I put him back in the crib. and I stayed in the room for like
Hold
15
on.
minutes.
What if he responded like, "Nah, you supposed to be back in the crib," like underneath ass?
You
Okay.
get in the crib.
Okay, if he would have did that, I'm not gonna lie, it would have been the sidekick. You know what I'm saying? Like it just he would have went into the wall, and then I would have explained that
You
he
would.
fell out his crib like that.
Hey, Terrence,
But
you would have kicked the field goal.
yes, like so I stayed with him when I put him back into the crib, right? And it was like maybe 15, 20 minutes. He went back to sleep. He even pulled up over the covers, right? And then I pulled it back and fluffed up the pillow, patted him on the back, like, all right, yep, see you later. Go back in the living room. Maybe another 30 minutes or so pass. I hear another sound. I open the door and I opened it slower this time. Now he was in the way of the door to where you could hit him. So luckily I didn't come in fast. So he was closer to the door the second time. So then I look at him and I just start, making faces because that time he wasn't really smiling like he was that first time. Like I was like, what the fuck? So I had to make some faces.
He like, don't be that great. You making no faces at me, motherfucker. What you think this is, nigga? Make me about milk.
So like I started making faces at him, and then like he kind of looked at me for a few seconds and he started laughing, and I was just like, we're gonna have to tell your mom about this because like this shit don't make no sense. So she came back with her guy like maybe 3 or so hours after that, and I was like, I don't know what's happening with your son, but like he might be possessed or something because like
That nigga
he
plotting
shouldn't
on
have been
you.
able to. Right. I was like, he shouldn't have been able to get out of the crib. And then she looked at me. She was like, "You mean to tell me that he just got out on his own?" I'm like, "I'm not making this shit up. The little nigga got out." Like,
they got monkey climbing abilities, man. I'm telling you, that's why they make them cribs like that. Them little motherfuckers can climb.
Chop. I did see Stream. Stream was fun.
Yeah, Stream was a little long, but
that shit didn't need to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. It could have been like 240. Like not 240, but 140.
Yeah, and fire the actor, the dad actor. That nigga was terrible, man. That dude.
But baby, that baby shit.
God, don't do this. Don't do this, baby.
That whole baby scenario just reminded me. I don't know if you remember that one Rugrats episode. Terrence, that it had like I forget how it went, but like that just reminded me of a specific episode of Rugrats or some shit.
I used to love Rugrats. Okay, let's zero in. Like, what are the details on the episode?
Like I just remember there used to be like these older. They're not older babies, but they're like bigger babies than like Tommy or some shit like that. I forget exactly like. It's gonna come. I'm gonna find it. I'll send it to you. But that's what it just reminded me of. But that shit's funny as hell. The diaper shit, like.
Yeah, man. I look up and I look at it and like she looked just like me. You know what I'm saying? So, we're you know what I'm saying? We're under the covers naked. So now I gotta hurry. I gotta sneak my boxes back on while I put her back to bed. You know, that was some crazy shit.
That's just funny as hell.
Yep. Yeah. See, like you might have been like too loud or something. Like who knows?
Well, because at the time she used to sleep in the bed with me, yo. So I put her to sleep and I laid her down, and I guess she kind of didn't feel my presence there, so she wanted to see what was going on. So she got down and it's a long dark hallway too, you know. So the fact that she didn't make a sound, she didn't say like "Hey, Dad" or all you heard was. And I kept saying, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah, she just creeped up on me.
I told you like the family connection. You know, you're a good dad, Rashad. So you know, sometimes in life.
Yeah, no, well, thank you. Yeah, she just even to this day, she still be doing crazy shit, man.
Yep. So with that being said, like let's go around and say like what we don't really know what horror movies is coming out next year. But
take your turn.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, we don't even know what's coming out next year. But you know,
the Wolfman. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's the only one I know on top of my head.
Yeah, but Werewolf, the Frank Grillo one that comes out December, right?
December,
or early
next
December
6th.
December 6th
or something like that.
Grillo. Hey, he's supposed to also be back in the guy that created the Purge movies, like the studio
Mhm.
wanted him to make one more, and he said no, but then they, I guess they talked him into it. He's like, I'm gonna make one more, and he wants Frank Grillo's character that was introduced in the Purge Anarchy when, he went
Right.
out and he was defending people because, his son got fucked up or whatever. He wants him to be like the main focus again for like something bigger that was
Mhm.
built up in the first movie that's going to come to a head in this final one. So
Okay.
I was like, hey man, Frank Grillo's there. I'm sold. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
my
I since I got 4 people here right now, I want to show y'all a little teaser once again.
Shit, that was tight.
So yeah, that's the teaser for season 3, which will not be coming out till next summer. So we have
yeah,
plenty of time to just wait.
that was a better teaser than some of these horror movies they've been putting out. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this a whole movie coming out.
That was tight. That was tight, bro.
Yeah, I was waiting to really use those effects for something. I was like, yeah, let me put this. I literally put that shit together like today. So
Yeah, because you said StreamYard like deleted all your other stuff, like your other
not
intros.
deleted, but like I just can't. I can't use that shit.
Oh yeah, because you have to pay like the membership or whatever.
Yeah, them fucking tiny hat motherfuckers.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
keep
keep.
forgetting about Nosferatu. Yeah, I keep forgetting that comes out.
Hey man,
Yeah,
I'll
that's why
tell
I'm
you
kind of
one
having.
thing, man.
That's why I kind of have a hard time choosing when I want to do the perp show awards. Do I want to do it before Christmas or after Christmas? Because I like to have like a little bit of break time before we get into the new year. But I might end up having to do it after Christmas so that I can
Mhm.
watch because it would be Nosferatu and like Squid Games season 2 is
Right.
like the last things
Hey,
I would talk about. So
yep. Yeah,
True.
I'll tell you what, man. One of the scariest things this year was the Disney press conference. That shit was terrifying.
Why you say that?
Because it just let me know that this whole course correction, we got to take that with a grain of salt. Like picture, they will have something where we're like, yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. They're back, yeah. But then
Still no
me,
Blade.
right,
Still no
right.
Blade.
I'm gonna be in the background going like, so no Blade, like you said, perp, and none of the stuff that we are supposed to see. So I'm not gonna be distracted by that. And then meanwhile, in between, before and after, is gonna be some trash. So to me, knowing how much that I legitimately care about a lot of these characters and stuff, and that I want the best for them, it just terrifies the shit out of me. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle what they're gonna drop in the near future. That's all I'm saying.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
the whole Blade thing is a blessing in disguise, man. Because no diss to Marshall Ali, he's a dope ass actor, but listen, what Wesley Snipes proved once and for all, I am Blade. So okay, maybe I feel different. I say bring Wesley back one more time, do like a Logan type deal where he's like old man Blade, but also kind of take a page from the Dark Knight Rises where he's been in retirement for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been like really no threats. Like Blaze took everybody out, and this new threat emerges. And Terrence, you know the Blade characters more than I do. So whoever the big baddie is in the Blade universe, bring that motherfucker out, and then he can have one last movie, one
But
last swan song, and that'll
but he
be the end to the Blade. The Wesley Snipes Blade era.
Hold on.
see if I'm in charge, no. Like if I'm in charge, like after Deadpool and Wolverine hit 1 billion and I saw all the responses, I would have started working on 2 scripts to give Wesley Snipes 2 more movies, and we would have shot them back to back. Because while the Logan idea sounds interesting, I don't want that for him because he doesn't need that type of ending. He needs to be something that continues. And because of all this multiverse shit that they're doing, I will show them how to do it properly. And then you can still usher in their own Blade that's not Wesley Snipes by the time
Yeah.
you get to the end of the second film, because we're going into Secret Wars. I'm like,
Right.
this stuff writes itself. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what would be crazy? Like, Terrace, you've seen Hellsing before, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Wouldn't it be crazy to have an animated like movie, Blade versus Alucard or some shit?
Oh, hell yeah. That's better
That'd be
than
crazy.
anything they've been doing over the last 5 years.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
See, like that is a fantastic idea. I can already see that shit playing out in my mind. But like Rashad, I get what you're saying about it's a blessing, but to me, it once again shows that not only Hollywood but Disney, they do not care about black actors and black characters. Look at everything that they have done with their black characters.
Yeah.
War
Yeah.
Machine movie gone. Black Panther killed off. Blade movie never written. You know what I mean? Look what they did to Terrence Howard after Iron Man 1. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like it just
right.
the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And then
And I
Black Panther.
also, I also don't see it as like one last vampire movie. I'm cool with, honestly, because
Yeah.
it's like there's too much vampire shit, and none of it's really like super unique like that. Like outside of Midnight Mass, which I feel like is set the bar high
Yeah,
for
Midnight Mass
vampire
was
shit.
cool. That was fire.
But Blade has unique stuff that they're not using. So my thing is, so they're talking about they want to do Midnight Suns. Like most humans don't understand that most Blade stories he's by himself. Now the few times that he has teamed up, sure, like Midnight Suns, you know what I mean? Like it to me, what you want to do is you want to set Blade up in his own movies first, and then you can team him up. But see, the problem that I have is that there's been so much time. If anything, after Endgame, they should have been doing the stuff like Man Thing, Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, Punisher, Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider Danny Ketch. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff should have been set up, and then you can do Midnight Suns. Like they had
Right.
that much time.
At this point, they might as well just do Midnight Suns and introduce Blade like that at this point, and then give him his own solo movie.
That's what they said they're gonna do. That he's gonna lead the Midnight Suns, and I'm like, look, I don't think they're gonna be able to handle that because that's a horror thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're gonna be able to do that properly. So I'm concerned about that because even though I like Werewolf by Night and some of the stuff they did with Moon Knight, it's still not what it should be. So now that you're grouping all those characters together, I'm like, there's no way
random.
that I believe. Yeah, it feels random and it's not connecting to anything. So because of that, I'm like, they're gonna rush the shit out of it, which is what I
have
don't
another
want them to do.
Eternals like kind of situation where you'll have all these dope actors, but then like you put them in like a mid movie.
But I mean, I'm saying, well, because my whole Logan thing comes from a place of Wesley Snipes is what 60. He's in his 60s now. You know what I mean?
He's
So
like
he probably has like one good Blade movie left in him. Because I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, he's still physically fit for his age. But if you tell my, hey man, you want to play a Blade about 3 or 4 more times, he's gonna be like retarded. Fuck out of here. Hell no. Nah.
I'm pretty sure they got the rights for Ghost Rider.
But that's because if they waste time, like if I were in charge and I came to him, I'm like, look, we ain't wasting no time. We're working on a script right now. We're going to shoot it back to back. It's going to take us a year and a half. What you want to do? And we'll have you appear briefly in Secret Wars, and then we'll usher in our new Blade. So the only reason why Wesley said like he doesn't want to do it is because he understands how long they fucking take at Disney to do shit for black characters.
And I see, and you see, this is where I think James Gunn is going to capitalize on a lot of Marvel's mistakes, where he says like, we're not putting nothing, out until we get a script made first. We're not doing nothing until the script's made. So I think that approach what James is doing is going to work out for him in the long run and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Terrence, and to your point too about how they do black characters in Marvel, like I think you're absolutely correct because I did see I forgot which channel it was, man, but somebody did a whole rant about how they killed off T'Challa, how they killed off Black Panther, and it's like you have all these like there's no one actor connected to Superman or Batman, like once one actor gets done playing them, they get somebody else to play them. So why did you have to kill off T'Challa like that? Just recast him.
You know what's funny? You just say that because like I just saw on TikTok they had this group photo of like all the different people that played Jason. I was like, that's
Right.
nice. There's a lot of people that play Jason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you guys with this. This is how I know that the Midnight Suns is sloppy, and
I
also
forgot
that these
Spawn.
motherfuckers don't read comics. Instead of doing Midnight Suns, which has more than 12 different characters on it at any given moment, they should, if they're trying to do service to Blade, they should be doing the Night Stalkers. And they probably be like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, well, that is a team of only 3 characters. One, which is Blade, and then you have Hannibal King, which they ruined in Blade Trinity, so they can retcon that shit and make him a vampire like he's supposed to be. And then you have Frank Drake, which is a descendant of Dracula. You can have those 3 characters team up to fight
Pretty good.
Lilith. They can fight Lilith in that, right? And then in Blade's solo film, it can lead into him fighting Dracula, which would then lead into Secret Wars. Like I said,
pretty much like pretty much like a Castlevania almost.
Yes.
What about the Blood Pack from Blade 2? Was that a group from the comics, or was that just for the movie?
Yes, the Blood Pack. So here's the thing with the Blood Pack. The way that they executed in Blade 2 is fine because Blade 2 is a good movie, but ordinarily they would be slightly tougher than that, but they will still get watched by Blade. So the way that they did that in the movie is fine, but the circumstances of them going up against the Reavers and stuff was very interesting because we all know that Gerald Nomak was a fucking beast in Blade 2.
He was that nigga, man. Yeah, Jared Nomak was that nigga.
So that's my thing, and it's like Wolverine, like his story about him getting old and stuff, that's tied to him. And because we're dealing with a black character, I don't want there to be any sort of messed up comparisons and disservices that will take away from Blade directly. Like I don't want that from him. I want him to be able to stand on his own and have something to where we can just tie to him specifically. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. But hopefully one of these days, one of those 2028 release dates is Blade. They could probably figure it out, and it ends up being one of the best movies, and it's all worth the wait. But it's gonna hurt them in the long run for just all the delays, and what I'm saying, they already kind of killed people's expectations and hypes, and this is like going on 5 years now, which is fucking crazy. Like that they announced this shit like a while ago.
Hey, another thing too, guys. Like another thing that I would tell Wesley is that
I could see that.
Hell yeah. But I was reading that comment. Yes. Look, yeah. Show me the potential. I'll sign that shit too.
Yeah, I saw the little clips of him playing as the Joker and stuff. Like he does his best like Mark Hamill impression, like, and he hits the whole mannerisms though.
Oh yeah, like the way he was acting is very much how Joker is in the comics. So even though all these Jokers like have been done by great actors, I'm like, technically the last comic book accurate Joker in live action was Jack Nicholson in Batman 89. Like if I'm gonna be real. But what I was gonna say is that I would tell Wesley, like, I still plan on keeping you in the Blade reboot. He gonna be like, wait a minute, I thought you said that I was gonna do the 2 films. I'm like, hear me out. Because of your age, you cannot necessarily keep doing the fighting the same way. But if I put you as Jamal Afari, which most people don't know, the jazz musician that taught Blade how to fight, you can do that. It'd be like Blade training Blade. And that will allow you to stay in the franchise, even though you're not Blade directly anymore.
Right.
And Jamal Afari is an older character. So yeah.
Well, with that being said, this was a great episode, great finale, great season overall. I appreciate y'all pulling up when y'all could pull up. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to the live viewers. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to the people checking out the replay. Any last words, Terrence?
Yes. I always enjoy talking to you guys. I'm glad and proud to call you guys my friends. I appreciate both of you and all of our conversation on different things. And also, I figure since this is the finale, maybe we can extend it to 10 hours, just to, be
Absolutely not.
special.
Hey, ain't no director's cut. I ain't Zack Snyder, man.
Shit. Look, in 10 hours, I'll be waking out of my drunken slumber, man.
Zombified.
Wait, I got one that'll entice you that might change your mind. Hear me out. So we're at the end of October, right? Technically, we're almost gonna be in Christmas time, so that could be like a gift to your boy, the 10-hour stream and stuff.
Absolutely not.
Shit.
Bah humbug. Bah
Shit.
humbug. But speaking of that, I am going to be doing a Perp Show episode coming up very soon. I'm gonna do it on Mischief Night. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be fun. We can continue that conversation there. You know what I'm saying? Rashad, any last words?
Nah, man, it's been a blast, man, doing this shit week after week. Just feel like it done went by so fast. But yeah, it was an honor doing this. You could have chose anybody to co-host this with you, man. So I'm honored that you chose me, and shit till next season, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, season 3 is on the way. It's gonna take a minute. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I got another stream coming, the Perp Show, season 5, episode 8. Yeah, 8. That's coming on Wednesday night. It's gonna be a little bit earlier. It's gonna be like at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So definitely pull out for that because we're gonna talk about all different types of topics, but mostly more so like it's gonna be like an epilogue for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that. And we also have the Perp Awards coming up in like about 2 months. So I'm really excited for that. I'm about to get locked in and prepared for that. And it's gonna be a great award show again this year. The best award show. And like I said, I appreciate Terrence pulling up. Appreciate Rashad pulling up. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Chop, you know what I'm saying? Tony pulled up. Uh, who else pulled up? Let me see real quick. One other person.
I just read a comment. Marlon Wayne's got a horror movie coming out next year.
Yeah, it's called The
Yeah.
GOAT. Chief Wildfire. Appreciate all the love, man. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Follow everybody here. You know what I'm saying? Until next time. See y'all in the next one.